Hi everyone, it's Megan Anderson, and this is the December Pocket Your Year video chat. So I will be answering all of your pocket scrapbooking questions, and Lily is here to join us today because she really likes to bug me at my desk lately. First, I want to say welcome to all of you. This is a chat mainly for Pocket Your Year students, but if you are here and you just enjoy pocket scrapbooking, then welcome. And some of the things might be a little confusing for you, but you're still welcome to ask questions. You can either ask questions in the comment section, which is disabled on YouTube for some reason right now, so I am going to try to fix that and figure out why that's going on so that you can ask them there, or in the Pocket Your Year Facebook group. I'll be checking there as well. So I'm going to be a little bit awkward here while I try to figure out what is going on with the comments. Why are they disabled? I don't want them to be disabled. It's telling me I don't have permission to access the page. Anyway, I know that we have Facebook, a few questions in the Facebook group now. So then if I can't fix the comments on here, then it might not be. Let me be awkward. Hang on. And if anyone knows why that's happening, because that hasn't happened to me before. Then saying something in the Facebook group would be helpful. See if I can. Maybe it's in the settings on Google Plus. Okay, well, that is a not fun amount of silence. So what I'll do is I will answer questions from the Facebook group. If you search for the group Pocket Your Year, you will find us. It is a private group, but it's open to everyone. It's just private to keep out spammers, basically. So we just check you out first, or in the classroom itself. We can do that, and then if someone knows why the comments are disabled, then please let me know what the heck I did there. Because, well, now it will. Dang it. Info. Yeah, it's messy. I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, I'm just going to jump into the questions then. Oh, someone said that Amy said that the comments are disabled on YouTube. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with that, Amy, but it's not, it's saying that I don't have permission to access the places on YouTube where I would need to change that, which is frustrating, but it's not. I mean, I've done this a bunch of times, so I don't know. I didn't do anything differently. And it's saying that I don't have permission to access the info and settings. So, anyway, so I will just be answering questions from the Facebook group, and I will also see them if they're posted in the classroom, and if I can fix it, I will. But so Jay was unable to make it today, but she had a few questions for us that we can get started with. One of them was, after interacting with the class this year, what do you see as the biggest roadblocks to people achieving their documenting goals, and what advice do you have? So the biggest roadblock, I think, is probably just motivation. It's a difficult thing to stick with, even though it's a simple documenting system, pocket scrapbooking. Any project that is long-term like this is, you're going to lose steam sometimes, and you're going to be very motivated other times. But I think when you start to lose steam, if you start to think about wanting to catch up or everything that you've missed out on, then it's overwhelming and it's hard to get started again, and then that just keeps you from doing it, and it kind of takes the fun out of it. So that's one thing that I saw, especially with our challenge a day unit with the 31 days of challenges. You all did so much during that unit and got so much done, and I think that it was just because there was a motivation that we were all doing that project together, but it also, it gave some focus for everyone. So instead of trying to think about what you were going to do as a whole with your pocket scrapbooking, just focusing in on one challenge helped people to actually get something done, because they weren't trying to think of the whole of what they wanted to do, but rather one specific thing that they wanted to accomplish. So I think that being overwhelmed can really hurt motivation. And so finding ways to motivate yourself to kind of narrow and limit what you're trying to do, and get motivated to do one spread or one page at a time or one step at a time, instead of trying to think of everything that you've accomplished, especially if you've fallen behind. I think that that is probably the biggest hurdle that I see people having, and that's a good way to get over that, to jump over that hurdle, is to kind of limit yourself. Jay asked, what unit did I enjoy the most and why? That was definitely the 31 days of challenges unit. I love challenges. They're motivating to me, and they're really fun, and it motivated me to make a lot of things, and it was really a challenge for me to come up with all of those and to do all of those, and I was very tired by the end of the month doing a video a day, but it was still a wonderful experience, and that's definitely my favorite. And then Amy is commenting in the classroom, and she says, love that the cat, mine insists to be on my lap when a video is playing, and him any voice is a video. Yeah, I have a desk behind me now in my office, and I've been using that for filming videos. And so now that's basically a step stool for her into my lap. So she'll climb up on there and then kind of perch on my shoulder, or jump into my lap from there. And this is the quiet time when the kids are asleep, and she doesn't like a lot of noise, so she's gonna seek me out whenever that happens. Jay also asked which unit was the hardest and why. The unit that was the hardest for me was probably the style unit, just because I did the video showcasing different styles. So there were, I think, 8 that we ended up with, if I'm not counting incorrectly, but 8 different styles to show how they worked. And since I did process videos for that, it was a little difficult for me because I was definitely getting out of my comfort zone and not doing pages that were in my own style. So it was a little bit more difficult to come up with what I wanted to do for all of those. But once I started thinking of in terms of which stories that I had that I wanted to tell that would work well with the different styles that we were talking about, it was much easier for me. If I would have just tried to do kind of everyday spreads and all of the different styles that we were going over, it would have been much harder for me. But for the vintage style, I did a Shakespeare in the Park page, and for the cute style, I did a page about Eliza when she was a baby. So doing those things really helped me, but hopefully that also helped you to see that your style can be fluid and can kind of change with your stories. But that one was probably the most difficult for me. Amy said you made an attempt to print your journaling on the pictures and then didn't do much more. I can't seem to get myself to do that. I try, but I'm more of a print than journal. What do you use for motivation? Yeah, I started out the year testing that out, doing the digital journaling, just because you can fit so much more on there. So much more journaling on if it's typed rather than handwritten. And then after the first couple months, I just stopped doing it. And it is because I still like typed journaling. I like the way that it looks, and it is much easier for me to tell longer stories that way, which I love. And I do say a lot more when I'm typing than when I'm writing, because when I'm writing, I kind of try to fit into the space. But I had a lot of trouble with my printer this year, and it's hard enough for me to get motivated to order out batches of photos. I don't want to order batches of journaling as well. So that's something that I'm hoping to invest in early next year, is more text journaling and upgrading to a new printer. So hopefully that'll help. And Amy also asked, what do I use for motivation? There are a lot of different things that motivate me. Obviously, creating class content motivates me, and I get ideas for things that I can do that I want to document that will help to show a certain technique or lesson that I'm trying to teach. Blogging used to really help motivate me because I would try to get up a spread every week, and so just having that on the calendar just kind of put it on my to-do list that I knew that I wanted to get that done. But since this year we have a foster baby, and it's so hard to blur her out of the pictures and out of the text, and that takes a really long time. And I'm also kind of worried that I'll miss something. I don't want to share my spreads weekly, and I'm batching spreads now because my printer has decided that it's done printing photos, so I'm ordering out and going in batches. So that motivation doesn't really work for me anymore. So now it's more sometimes I kind of do make myself do it. Like I know that I have time, and sometimes I would kind of rather curl up and read a book and be lazy, but I know that I only have so much time to do memory keeping. So once I sit down and start doing it, I have a lot of fun. So it's not always that I'm necessarily motivated. Maybe I'm motivated by my lack of time to do it in a way. I'll be motivated by new products and kits, just because thumbing through them, I'll get ideas. And if I have something new, I'll really want to use it. But mostly it's the stories. And when I try, excuse me, I try to upload the photos from my camera and from my phone and from my husband's phone weekly, if not more often than that. And so looking through those pictures and going through that process of backing them up, it gives me ideas and it makes me want to do something with them. So that all helps as well. And I also, I have fun with other people's challenges. Like Kristen from RE Kristen is doing weekly Awesome Ladies project challenges on her blog and on Instagram. And I think those are really fun. And while I've been working on class content and getting Pocket Year 2016 set up, I haven't really had any time to do more than the first couple of those. But just anything that sparks an idea, I guess, is basically my answer. And then Amy also said, my page says that chat is disabled for this live stream. Is that why no comments? So I think so, but I don't know. I don't know where to undisable that, because even though I'm signed in to everything and obviously I'm the person who is in charge of this, it's saying that I don't have access. Yeah, and so I don't know what's going on with the chatting, and I don't want to spend too much time on that because I can't read and click around and try to figure out what's going on and talk at the same time. But I'm back in the live control room. I might as well, since this is a problem, I might as well look at it one more time. But it doesn't, I don't know if I clicked something wrong or live streaming. Stream now. I am streaming now, but I didn't do it from YouTube. I did it from Google+. I'm sorry. It's really going to especially stink for people who are watching the archived version later because there's so much dead time, but I can't figure this out. But again, like I'm reading in the Facebook group, and I'm keeping my email open so that I can see. We can just say bizarre and send you some hugs. Yes, do that. I don't know what's going on. I will make sure that it is not a problem next time by researching it, but I don't feel like there's a whole lot that I can do about it while we're talking. Jay, I think Jay had some other questions. Let me double check here on Facebook. Thank you. Oh, she says, thank you for a great year of pocket scrapbooking lessons. I will no doubt spend next year taking it all in and get more documenting action going. Yes. Thank you for joining in. I'm so appreciative of all of you. It's been a really great year and a really great experience, and I'm excited to repeat that next year. As I'm working on our final units for December, I'm also working on the pre-class content for 2016. And the classroom's almost done for that, and January's content for 2016. And I'm really excited about all of that. And next year's content will be all new, and there'll be like probably a tiny bit of overlap as we talk about things like the reassessing unit that we did in the middle of the year. This year we'll probably do some different form of that next year, just because I think it's kind of important to check in there in the middle, but it'll still all be different. And then the 2015 content will be, I'm kind of redoing that and kind of polishing it up a little and including PDFs and things, and then selling all of the units individually next year for people who missed out on the class this year. Maybe they're taking the 2016 class and they feel like they need more instruction in a certain area, so they'll be able to buy those individually, and I'll be releasing them throughout the year. But the cleaner, more polished version, all of you will get into those free, so it'll just be an easier way for you to access this content. And it's all going to be hosted through RE Kristen next year in her classes shop. And I really wanted to do that because I thought that if we had so many different single units and lots of classes on top of each other, that you all would want, instead of having to remember lots of different URLs and different usernames and passwords, one portal where you can sign in using your own username and password and access all of your classes from one place. So that is what I'm working on for next year, and I'm really excited about, all of that. Jennifer, hi Jen, says she's popping late, so sorry if this has already been answered, but how's your December daily going? Yeah, we have not talked about that at all yet. So this year, like I said, my printer it prints like weird lines through people's faces, and what I would need to fix it is a new print head, and the new print head is more expensive than the actual printer was. So I can't just replace it. And if I'm going to get a new printer, I'm going to get a fancy printer. And so I need to like justify that purchase a little bit further down the road. So I have to order my photos out. So what my plan is I am just taking photos every day and writing down a couple pages of journaling every day, which also is helping me to focus on the stories. And then at the end of the week, I will batch the photos and the journaling, and I'll send out for those pictures. So I'll probably be working on each week, like a week and a half after it occurs, but I am doing daily stories and focusing on mostly holiday stuff, though I'm doing some everyday things, and I'll probably only be sharing parts of it because, again, like our foster baby's in like 75% of my pictures. So, and in almost all of the stories somewhere. So then that makes it a little bit difficult to share online, but there will be at least some of the pages shared. And I have all of my supplies, but I haven't made my base yet. I'm thinking about just making all of the pages in 6x8 and then making a book for them afterwards once I know how thick it is. But I'm not sure, and that doesn't bother me at all because usually my family goes to Denver right after Christmas to visit my friends that live there, and this year we're not doing that, and my husband has a lot of days off work, so I'll have lots of like lazy cold days at home to work on it after things calm down a little bit. So I'm excited, but I just am worrying about the documentation part now, and I'm going to worry about the rest of it later. Though to get my supply fix, right now I am doing 30 days of lists daily. So like there's the first 2, and so that way I'm still playing. It's pretty simple in there, but I'm still playing with supplies every day, and so that's kind of tiding me over until I really get started on December daily. Let me check in the places. Okay. So I'm not seeing any new comments. And I know December is really busy, so not very many people can make it. But if you all have any feedback about this year's class or things that you would like to see next year or questions about how we're setting things up next year, I would love to answer those. Otherwise, we might cut it a little short today. And I know, let's see, so this month it's going to be, a lot of people are really busy this month, so I know that a lot of you won't have time to go through the course material because there's going to be more than usual this month with 2 units, the design unit and the finishing up unit, going at once. And so don't worry about feeling like you're falling behind on those because that content is going to be relevant whenever you get to it. And we also have the video for our journaling unit, which will wrap that up, coming next week. So I'm really excited about that because trying to fit longer journaling into my pocket scrapbooking is always one of my main goals, and not something that I see from pocket scrapbookers a lot. So I think that it's a good unit to have. I'm going to give you a second because I know that I am on a little bit of a delay for you. And while I wait to make sure that you don't have any other questions, oh, nope, just got one. I was going to try to figure out the comments thing a little bit more. Jen says, so talking about mini books, 30 lists, do you ever worried about things being scattered around, like you're documenting 3 places this month, 30 lists, December daily, and Project Life? Do you think about that? Or am I the only person that needs everything together? Yeah, I do. So I do like things to be together, which is why a lot of times I've put 30 days of lists into my Project Life. But it's just a fun project. And for me, my pocket scrapbooking is more, it's more kind of a chronicle of what we do, of my family's experiences. And a lot of times it'll be things that I'm feeling and stuff. But, and though these lists, if I answered them next year, these same lists as opposed to this year, I'd write different things because I'd be a different person and I'd have different perspectives and different things would be on my mind. But it's not like having 30 days of lists in a separate book is going to mean that there's part of the story missing in my pocket scrapbooking album. And also because I have a different perspective for my December daily than I do for my pocket scrapbooking album. It doesn't bother me that they're in 2 places. So I really like making sure that I still have the highlights. Like when I make vacation albums, I still make sure that I have highlights in my pocket scrapbooking. But it's just not a good format. Because, I already have 4 albums a year, so it's not really a good format for me to document everything that I'd like to document about the holidays or about a vacation. Because then I'd end up with like 6 a year or something like that if I was printing everything as full-sized photos. So I feel like the albums, my pocket scrapbooking albums, they tell a complete story by themselves. But the mini books give me, they're either just for fun and for a fun way to document myself, like the 30 days of lists, or they're a way to kind of go in a little bit deeper than I would in my pocket scrapbooking album, like I would for vacation albums or for December daily. So, and it's also, the mini books get looked through by guests a lot more than the pocket albums do. Sometimes people do request to see them and we bring them down, or like the kids like to show them to their grandparents, but the pocket scrapbooking albums are more for me, and they're in my my office here, so they're not kind of easily accessible by visitors. But the mini books are downstairs just on a bookshelf, so people will kind of flip through those, and so it's a nice smaller format for people who just want to sit there and look through something and don't want to have a whole lot to read. And then the December albums are also a nice thing to bring out during the holidays and to look through and kind of compare and contrast. So I like doing that. Let's see. Amy says, that sounds great. Any idea when sign up for 2016 will be happening? Also on a more personal level, when do you find out about final adoption? So the sign up for 2016, I wanted it to be last Monday. So I'm not going to give you a definite answer. So I'm hoping it will be next week, but I'm still working with Jeff to set everything up, and my priority has been making sure that I'm getting the content done for this class now. And I think for the 2016 classroom, we just need to test things some more, and I need to upload a welcome video for you all. So hopefully that will be next week, and you all, you're the alumni of Pocket Year 2015 will get a 30% discount. And then for people who are coming in new, there'll be a early bird discount of 10% through the rest of this year. So hopefully that's a little bit helpful. And then as for the adoption question, so we still don't know if that if adopting her is an option without saying too much. So we still won't find that out for a couple months yet, but we are working on adoption paperwork now because I like to get it started early. If you saw something about that on my 30 lists. And then, I mean, it takes, if she ends up being available for adoption, it takes like 6 months to a year for that to be final. So it's still a long time away. Very long time away. So, there won't be a whole lot of current Pocket scrapbooking spreads shared next year, and I'll continue working on my 2011 album in the class, as well as mixing in some current things that are either blurred or more focused on myself and my friends. But yeah, it makes scrapbooking online different, definitely. But yeah. Amy says I'll do that next, back talking about the holiday albums. I'll do that next year. Last year I did a separate holiday album, and the Pocket ends in the end of November. I think I'll attempt both next year. Thanks for the examples. Yeah, I think a lot of people do that, and especially if you want to stick to just a few albums and you're kind of running out of space, then that's a good thing. But just the December albums, mine, they get handled a lot, and I hand make the albums a lot, so they're not probably going to last as long as the Pocket albums will. Like, they will eventually begin to fall apart and stickers will fall off of them and things, especially with the kids looking through them so much. So I definitely like to have both for that reason as well. But okay, I'm going to try to check that comments thing one more time. Because it's really driving me crazy. And there doesn't seem to be anything I can do. Okay. Well, we got a couple good questions answered, so this wasn't the most eventful of chats, and I'm sorry about the disabled comments. I'm going to make sure that that does not happen next time. But if you have any follow-up questions, or if you're watching the archive version and you'd like me to expand on something, or you wanted to talk about something that didn't get brought up, go ahead and ask that in the Facebook group or in the comments section in the classroom, and we can talk about that via text. And I just want to finish off by saying how thankful I am for all of you for taking this course this year and for your participation. It certainly inspired me and definitely has helped me to grow as a teacher and a person this year. And I especially am thankful for all of your understanding about kind of our weird scheduling that we ended up with, especially through the second half of the year, as I added in extra content and as I had some life curveballs. So I'm really thankful for all of you, and I really appreciate you for being here. So I hope that if you celebrate, that you have a great holiday season, and I will see you in the classroom for 2 more units this month. Bye.